Continuing with Ephesians chapter 5. Now, we have just talked about how we need to be imitators of God, doing the things that he wants us to do, and how that's like a sweet fragrance. But sexual immorality and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not even be mentioned among you, as becomes saints, nor filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not appropriate, but rather give thanks. So, the whole point here, as we've already been talking about, is that it's about doing something good instead of just avoiding bad, right? Now, of course, this kind of joking, all this sexual stuff that's going on, very common in the Greek and Roman world, like very common, especially amongst certain cults and things like that, where it was even more common, right? But this is like what you do to fit into society. And if you're going to be antisocial, people will think that you're really weird and kind of not a good person because you're not willing to take part in kind of the fun and the silly stuff that people are talking about. So what's going on? And here Paul's like, yeah, nope, because we're part of a completely different kingdom, right? We're part about giving thanks, right? That's what we're doing. This is not appropriate. Now, notice too that the point is that you already are this thing, and so therefore do stuff that's in line with that is appropriate for being that. It's not that by avoiding bad, dirty jokes or anything like that you are somehow going to become a saint, right? Or become part of this group. No, no, no. You are one of these groups. You are part of this group, and so therefore you need to behave in such a way that fits that because you live the way that you're supposed to be, right? So we give thanks. These things are not appropriate. Okay. It's interesting because immorality and uncleanness and covetousness, yours might say greed, right? I tend to think money, right, with that, but it seems like all of this is wrapped up in a sexual ethic. That is about coveting somebody else or what they have, their spouse or whatever else that's going on with that. Know this for sure, that no sexually immoral person, no unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God. So the point is that if you are living this way, then you're not part of this inheritance, which we've been talking about inheritance before and all that stuff as well. But the point is not that if you do one of these things, that suddenly you're out because you've done a naughty and therefore you don't belong here anymore. But instead that you belong here, and so therefore you shouldn't do these naughty things. These things are inappropriate. It's also interesting because people will often try and say that, well, the Bible doesn't talk about, this particular sexual sin. And so therefore it can't be a sin because, it's just like the Bible's just outdated. Um, Actually, the things that the Greeks and the Romans did were far more sexually progressive than even we're okay with today. Well, we're like, some of that stuff is truly not okay. Consent and all that kind of stuff. Power imbalances. Yeah, they were all about that. We are not about that. And so there is actually more today that's taboo than was then. And so this is a blanket statement. These words are covering a wide swath of immoral behavior, right? That is not here. Okay, so we shouldn't be part of this. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these things the wrath of God comes on the children of disobedience. Yep. So don't be like, hey, yeah, no, we're okay. No, you're not okay. Don't do these things. These things are inappropriate, right? And this kind of inappropriate stuff is bad, and that's worthy of God's wrath. Because bad things, right? Especially like it's easy for us today to look back on some of the things that like the Greeks did and be like, yeah, that's worthy of wrath. That's not okay, and that's just the case across the board here. Okay. Therefore, don't be partakers with them. For you were once darkness, but now light in the Lord. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is well pleasing to the Lord. I love this, that it's like, don't be part of this because that's good. But you were once darkness. It's not you were once in darkness. You once were darkness. You once were the black spot. You were once that bad stuff. But now we're light. It's not that we're in the light, that we are now light in the Lord. The Lord has made us light. So therefore, we're supposed to walk this way. Again, it's not clean up yourself so that you can go be a good follower of Christ. No, it's you are a follower of Christ, so therefore walk in line with that. Be part of that thing. Because what's the fruit? It's all the good stuff. Goodness, righteousness, truth. Okay? And this is pleasing to the Lord, which is true as glory. This is all throughout what we've been doing. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful deeds of darkness. Notice that thing, right? So we've got the fruit of the Spirit, right? Are these good things? And we don't want to be part of the unfruitful stuff, right? That wouldn't be good. The deeds of darkness, but rather even reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of the things which are done by them in secret. But all things, when they are reproved, are revealed by the light, for everything that reveals is light. Okay, so we have this idea of like, don't do bad stuff, because the bad stuff that people do, like, it's shameful even to talk about it. And that's why they sneak around and do these things behind closed doors, or, get rid of their internet history, or, go sneak around. Don't let people, yeah, like, don't, because it's shameful. It's not good. We shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so instead expose them. Here it says reproof, right? Expose these things, because it's ultimately going to get exposed anyway. Eventually, it's coming out. So you might as well let it out now and start dealing with it. Because the point is that we want to clean this up. We want to get rid of the darkness, right? Yeah, all this secret stuff that's being done. Okay. And then notice too that everything that reveals is light. It is revealed by the light, and then it becomes light. And this is interesting. It's not so much, physically true, like from a physics standpoint, right? This is just this idea that, like, you get light shown on it, and then it's reflective, and so it's light, right? Like, the light is bouncing off of me, so you can now see me. I have not become actually a light source from a physics standpoint, but like the moon, I am now reflecting the light that's out there. This isn't about the physics at all. This is about this idea of, as you expose the darkness and get it out, well, now you're light. Therefore, he says, awake you who sleep, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. This is a quote. He's definitely quoting something. We just don't know what it is. We're pretty sure that it was a song that everybody sang, like the early Christian community sang, probably. It's definitely based in the Bible, right? So if we go to Isaiah chapter 60, right? Arise, shine, for your light has come, and Yahweh's glory has risen on you. They're definitely taking this and associating it with Christ, right? That's kind of interesting. But we also have Daniel 12. Many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So we do have these ideas here, these are in this, but is this a song? Is this a combination of a couple of different verses? Is this from a Targum, which, remember, a Targum is a paraphrase of the Old Testament that was there to help you memorize it and stuff. So is this just a different translation? We don't know. People have guesses. Definitely seems like something people knew, though, because he's quoting it. All right. Therefore, watch carefully how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Okay, so again, this is about how you walk. How do you behave? What are you doing? It's not about hey, shape up, right? But instead, be wise, right? And redeeming the time, because the days are evil. And it's not that each day is oh, this is a bad day, right? It's instead that this era, this time frame, this existence that we're in right now, it's got a lot of bad stuff. So we should be doing wise things to redeem it, to make it better. That's the whole goal. The point is not to let this place burn. The goal is to make this a better place, to live better. Therefore, don't be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Continue on with that theme from above here. We were talking about, hey, then you're going to find out what the will of the Lord is, right? We have, yeah, okay, can't find it right now. Okay, there we go. But find out what the Lord's wills. Don't be drunken with wine, in which is dissipation, but be filled with the Spirit. Okay, and so there's passages for this. If we go to Proverbs, this is Proverbs 23. Don't be among ones drinking too much wine, or those who gorge themselves on meat, which is there's that having too much again, right? For the drunkard and the glutton shall become poor, and drowsiness clothes them in rags. And if we continue on, then we get down here, and it says, who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaints? Who has needless bruises? Who has bloodshot eyes? Those who stay long at the wine, those who go to seek out mixed wine. Don't look at the wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. I don't know. That seems, I just love it. It's so hilarious because hey, don't do this. Doesn't that sound really good? Okay. In the end, it bites like a snake and poisons like a viper. Your eyes will see strange things, and your mind will imagine confusing things. Yes, you will be as those as he who lies down in the middle of the sea, or as he who lies on top of the rigging. They hit me, and I was not hurt. They beat me, and I don't feel it. When will I wake up? I can do it again. I will look for more. So there's that idea, right? That idea of dissipation, or you might say debauchery. This is the idea that you are doing something just to get more better feels, right? So this actually ties into what we talked about last time, where you have desensitized yourself with all the sensuality. You have so much sense stuff that you're actually bad, right? Now you're not doing well. And similarly, this is dissipation or debauchery, where you're just indulging. It's an overindulgence in things, right? But don't be drunken with wine, but be filled with the Spirit. And so he's actually making a connection to the god Bacchus or Dionysus or however you pronounce that. Okay, so the god of wine. So there, the whole point is, if you're following that god and you're at one of those worship services, you're gonna just get drunk until you're a crazy person and you're like running around and just doing whatever, and you're doing that's the goal, is to just get totally wasted, soused, whatever. Okay, you're just to lose yourself in it. And here, no, we're supposed to be filled with the Spirit. And again, this is not a like a singular filling event. Like, oh, I'm gonna get filled or anything. It's like the idea of drinking. It's contrasted with that, right? Where you're just constantly pounding back another one. No, it's you're just constantly getting filled with the Spirit. Okay, and what happens when we do that? Speaking to one another in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always concerning all things in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ to God, even the Father. Okay, so why are we doing this? What are we doing? Well, we're actually supposed to start singing, which I guess ties into the Bacchus thing as well, because when you get drunk and then you're just singing at the top of your lungs, just singing, like. But here, no. We're supposed to be filled with the Spirit, which produces these kinds of songs. And there's actually 3 different ones of them, right? Psalms, hymns, spiritual songs. And so like Psalms, we know from the Bible, like there's a lot of those, right? Hymns, those definitely existed at this time. Yeah, and apparently that's like part of like the wider cultural, like the popular music of the day was like this. Like this was a very common thing that people sang to the gods and things like that. And so this was normal. This was like normal music, like the pop stuff of the day, right? And then you also have spiritual songs. And I guess there's some debate, but it seems like this is like, no, like when you get when you get drunk and you start just singing wildly, this is like what you're doing, but now under the Spirit, apparently. Or maybe it's something else, right? There's some discussion about that. Okay, but we're supposed to be making music to give thanks. Because again, the point is not that we want to just limit bad stuff or just say, no, we're not going to have any fun, but we're going to give thanks for the good stuff that's here, both sexual as well as enjoyment of life, right? All of that, we give thanks, right? Concerning all things in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ to God, even the Father, subjecting yourselves to one another in the fear of Christ. Now, different translations have this split out into a different header or that kind of stuff, but this is, according to what I've read, the Greek shows that it's actually, as you are filled with the Spirit, all this follows, including subjecting yourself to one another, which we'll cover much more in depth next time as we get into the specifics of what subjecting and all that kind of stuff is. We'll see how that goes.